Hey, this is Jonathan Passley, and earlier today I was speaking to a property manager out in San Diego, where he contacted us. He was interested in my team and I helping him acquire more units, helping him grow. And I was just going over, when we're discussing more about his business, we were going over our approach and the core strategies that we utilize to be able to get the results for our clients. And I got to the point where I said, yeah, one of the things we utilize is Google AdWords. And at that point he was like, nope, Jonathan, nope, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Let me tell you my experience on that. Just, we're running AdWords right now. We get a bunch of riffraff, tenants and vendors and like all kinds of crazy people calling us. Like it doesn't work. We blow through a bunch of money. It just doesn't work. And I started laughing because many property managers that I talk to have the same experience. They have the experience if they try to run AdWords on their own, or even with other marketing companies that don't have the experience in running advertising campaigns for property managers. And I'll give you some of the reasons why why property managers fall into this trap, or why property managers fail to have success utilizing AdWords. Some of the same things I told him. So first off, what makes it difficult is that tenants, vendors, investors, owners, they all type in the same thing into Google. Property manager in your area, property manager near me, property manager of San Diego, wherever area you're in. They all type in the same thing into Google. So how do you only show the ads to owners and investors? Because there are way more tenants. There's thousands of tenants versus owners and investors. So when you run an advertising campaign, tenants are going to cannibalize the ad campaign because there's way more of them than there are owners and tenants. And the thing is with marketers and even with Google, because the property manager I was speaking to earlier today, he was saying how he was getting advice from Google. And he was saying, you're going to get a bunch of people calling the ad because, Google AdWords is like a highway of traffic. And, it's just going to send traffic your way, and you're just going to have to take the good with the bad. I started laughing. I was like, I said, no, first off, these Google reps, they mean well, but many of the Google reps, they have a year or less of experience with Google. They're new. Most of them, I would almost want to say 100% of them, have never created a campaign, run a campaign, and be responsible for the results, utilizing their money or someone else's money. They have no experience. They're just kind of going off of a script or what Google tells them to say, or what maybe their algorithm or whatever knowledge base that they have says. They're going off of that. And they also may be going off of what other businesses are doing, other industries. And that's what can really, really hurt property managers, because property management is much different than other industries. And I can speak intelligently and confidently because when I started this company 12 years ago, we worked with other industries. So I can compare the two. And the common practices that marketers will use, or even Google will use, the common practices that work for other industries do not work for property managers to acquire property owner leads. They don't work. They don't work. So the advice that Google gives many times isn't good, and it's going to point the campaign in a direction that is going to generate more tenant inquiries or vendor inquiries or irrelevant inquiries. So property management is much, much, much different. For us, we run a very, very tight campaign and don't allow Google to have the flexibility to be able to show you for what they think is a good keyword. Because here's the thing, Google's just a machine. So when a tenant inquires, or they click on an ad, or they call or submit the contact form, or an owner inquires, they don't know the difference. They just said, hey, someone contacted this business from the ads. That's a good thing. And see, here's where things can drastically go wrong. Because there are more tenants, Google is going to lean more towards the tenants because there's more of those, because they just count it as a conversion. They count it as someone interacting with the ad. So Google is going to start to veer the campaign or focus the campaign on getting more tenants, because it's a machine. It's once a tenant, submits the form or calls, they're going to say, oh, that's a good thing. Let's get more of those, and more and more and more and more. So then again, your campaign gets cannibalized by tenants. And this is what happens many times for property managers when they try to run ads on their own, or even when they get marketing companies that don't have experience in running ad campaigns for property managers. That's why I've spoken to to many property managers where they've said like, no, AdWords doesn't work. Actually, I'll give you a story. I have a client in Atlanta where this happened. We worked with him about 2 years ago. And, we said, hey, we're going to start with AdWords. And he was like, no, he didn't want to do it at all. The only reason he gave us a chance is because we redesigned his site, and he had a really good experience in us redesigning his site. So he then entrusted us to do AdWords. But he really wanted to concentrate on SEO. But I said, no, trust us on the ad side. And very quickly, we were able to launch things, and it kept him really, really, really busy, to the point where actually we worked with him for about 18 months, and then he sold the business. He sold the business at the end of last year. So yeah, I get it. But again, there's really literally a science behind running advertising for property managers. But hey, I hope this helped. I hope this is helpful to you. I hope this kind of clears up some of the maybe pain points or your experience of utilizing AdWords, and maybe it didn't work out well. And even with our experience in working with many different property managers and knowing what works, even we sometimes run into obstacles too as well with AdWords, because things change, the market changes, so we have to change with it. Things like coronavirus happens where we got to shift and adjust. And another thing that goes into the success of an advertising campaign is actively looking at what's happening and shifting based on the results. So hopefully this was helpful. If you're a property manager looking to acquire more units, looking to grow, feel free to reach out to my team. Go to jonathanpassley.com, go to our website, watch some videos, learn more about us, fill out the contact form. It'll have a video there that goes more into depth about our strategies, our pricing, all that good stuff. If you feel like we're a good fit for each other based off what you see, feel free to schedule time for us to talk. We can talk more about your business, see if we can help you grow. All right, everyone, have a good one.